Welcome back to Scout Automobile 1. Close your eyes for a moment, and imagine an empty American highway somewhere deep in the desert late at night. No traffic, no noise, only the sound of cold wind moving across the asphalt under distant neon lights. And then suddenly, a deep mechanical rumble begins to rise from far away in the darkness. Slowly, louder, sharper, more aggressive, two glowing LED headlights appear low against the road like a predator hunting through the night. The sound becomes heavier and more emotional with every passing second, and within moments, the machine finally arrives, the 2026 AMC Javelin AMX concept. This is a fictional cinematic concept, not a real production car. A legendary American muscle icon reborn for the future, and today, we are going to experience every angle of this incredible machine together. First, let's move toward the front of the car. The front design of the 2026 AMC Javelin AMX looks absolutely terrifying. The car sits incredibly low and wide with a brutal road presence that instantly dominates the atmosphere. The massive blacked-out front grille stretches aggressively across the fascia, while futuristic LED lighting signatures glow sharply through the darkness. The headlights look razor-sharp. Low, wide, aggressiver. At night, they cut through the darkness like futuristic blades. The hood looks massive with muscular sculpted lines and aggressive heat vents integrated into the surface, giving the car a true performance-focused personality. Large front air intakes dominate both sides of the bumper, helping airflow and cooling performance, while making the machine look even more intimidating. The front splitter sits extremely low to the ground, visually pulling the body closer to the asphalt. From the front angle, the Javelin AMX feels like pure American aggression reborn. Now slowly move toward the back of the car. The rear design of the 2026 AMC Javelin AMX looks absolutely insane. The car sits extremely planted with wide rear shoulders and muscular bodywork, creating a brutal muscle car stance. The full-width LED taillight bar glows beautifully across the rear section, with a futuristic red signature inspired by classic American performance cars. Every lighting detail feels sharp and modern while still respecting old-school muscle heritage. The massive rear diffuser instantly grabs attention. Large dual exhaust outlets dominate the lower section, and the moment the engine starts, the entire atmosphere changes. The deep V8-inspired exhaust note shakes the air with a violent mechanical growl that feels emotional and addictive. This is not silence. This is not efficiency. This is raw American muscle emotion. The wide rear fenders stretch outward aggressively around the massive rear tires, while subtle aerodynamic vents help improve cooling and stability during high-speed riding. And honestly, from the rear angle alone, this machine already feels legendary. Now let's open the door and step inside. The interior of the 2026 AMC Javelin AMX feels like a futuristic performance cockpit inspired by classic muscle heritage. The cabin immediately surrounds the driver with aggression, technology, and premium craftsmanship. The seating position feels low and connected to the machine, while the seats themselves combine premium leather, alcantara, and carbon fiber materials together beautifully. The stitching details feel handcrafted. The side bolsters feel aggressive. Everything inside the cabin is designed around driving emotion. Now your eyes move toward the dashboard. The fully digital instrument cluster combines retro-inspired graphics with futuristic performance technology. Navigation, RPM visualization, drive modes, performance telemetry, and vehicle information appear directly in front of the driver with sharp, modern graphics. The steering wheel feels thick and sporty with integrated performance controls and metallic paddle shifters, allowing instant driving adjustments. The dashboard design remains clean and driver-focused without unnecessary distractions. Carbon fiber trim stretches across the cabin while ambient lighting glows softly around the interior during nighttime driving. And then there is the sound system. But honestly, the real soundtrack comes from the engine itself. Every startup sounds dramatic. Every acceleration feels violent. Every downshift sounds explosive. Every tunnel becomes unforgettable. Now let's move toward the back left side of the car. This angle perfectly reveals the wide rear stance and muscular bodywork. The rear quarter panels flare aggressively around the massive wheels, while reflections move beautifully across the paintwork during sunset. The rear wheel design looks brutal with deep performance styling, while large brakes hide behind the wheels, instantly revealing the true capability of the machine. The aerodynamic vents integrated into the rear section improve cooling performance while adding even more aggression to the overall appearance. At night, the glowing taillights and wide diffuser create an absolutely breathtaking visual presence. Now move toward the back right side. This may honestly be one of the best angles of the entire car. The combination of the fastback roofline, glowing taillights, aggressive diffuser, and muscular rear shoulders creates a true modern muscle car silhouette. Reflections move beautifully across the bodywork, while the exhaust system sits aggressively underneath the rear bumper. And then the engine starts again. The deep, mechanical rumble echoes through the night air while heat rises softly from the exhaust outlets. The machine almost feels alive. This is what makes the Javelin AMX special. It does not feel soft, it does not feel silent, it feels emotional. Now slowly move toward the front left side. This angle perfectly shows the long hood and aggressive wide body proportions of the machine. The front fenders flare outward aggressively around the wheels, while the body lines stretch beautifully toward the rear section. The wheel design looks premium and brutal at the same time, with metallic finishes and massive performance tires techs, helping the car grip the road aggressively. The mirrors remain sleek and aerodynamic, while the lower side skirts visually pull the machine closer to the ground, even while parked. The Javelin AMX looks fast. Now move toward the front right side. From this angle, sunlight reflects sharply across the paintwork, revealing the muscular surface detailing and incredible craftsmanship of the body. The long hood combined with the low roofline creates a breathtaking silhouette inspired by classic American muscle legends from the golden era. The front splitter channels airflow smoothly around the body, while modern aerodynamic systems help improve high-speed stability. Even the smallest details feel performance-focused. Cameras, sensors, vents, and lighting systems integrate naturally into the design without ruining the aggressive character of the machine. And now, let's talk about the true soul of this beast. The engine. The 2026 AMC Javelin AMX concept imagines brutal American performance mixed with futuristic engineering technology. Depending on the configuration, this machine could potentially feature a twin turbocharged V8, hybrid-assisted muscle setup, or high-output, naturally aspirated performance system. Capable of producing massive horsepower figures, throttle response feels instant. Acceleration feels violent. The transmission shifts aggressively while still remaining smooth enough for everyday driving. As the RPM climbs higher, the exhaust transforms into a screaming mechanical symphony that feels emotional and addictive. The steering feels sharp and connected, while adaptive suspension technology intelligently changes the personality of the machine depending on the selected driving mode. In comfort mode, the ride becomes surprisingly smooth. But in performance mode, everything changes instantly. The exhaust becomes louder, throttle response sharpens, suspension stiffens aggressively, and the machine suddenly feels wild and dangerous in the best possible way. Now let's talk about technology and features. The 2026 AMC Javelin AMX concept introduces futuristic driver-focused systems including intelligent traction control, launch control, augmented reality navigation, digital performance telemetry, wireless smartphone integration, adaptive suspension systems, AI-assisted driving settings, and customizable ambient lighting. The cabin combines classic muscle emotion with modern luxury technology perfectly. Wireless charging, premium surround audio, performance data displays, intelligent climate systems, and next-generation connectivity all help transform the experience into something futuristic while still maintaining the raw personality of the machine. And honestly, that balance is extremely difficult to achieve. Most modern performance cars are becoming quieter and more electronic, but the Javelin AMX still feels mechanical, still emotional, still alive. Now let's talk about pricing and value. If the 2026 AMC Javelin AMX concept ever became a real production machine, it would likely compete against premium American muscle cars and high-performance sports coupes, depending on wheel packages, carbon fiber upgrades, interior customization, technology options, and performance configurations. Pricing could increase significantly. But honestly, people interested in a machine like this would not simply be buying transportation. They would be buying emotion, heritage, aggression, and unforgettable road presence. Compared to many modern sports cars focused purely on digital perfection, the Javelin AMX feels raw, emotional, and exciting, and that emotional connection is becoming increasingly rare in today's automotive world. Late at night, parked under neon city lights, the Javelin AMX almost feels unreal. The reflections across the bodywork move beautifully while the aggressive LED lighting signatures glow sharply through the darkness. The engine quietly cools after a long drive while heat rises softly from the hood vents into the cold night air. And for a moment, the machine almost feels alive. This is why people still love muscle cars, not because they are practical, Not because they are efficient, but because they create emotion. The 2026 AMC Javelin AMX concept represents a future vision of raw American performance, mixed with futuristic technology and aggressive modern design. From the brutal front fascia to the muscular rear design, from the futuristic cockpit to the emotional exhaust sound, every part of the Javelin AMX feels designed for people who truly love cars. This is not simply transportation. This is American muscle reborn. The 2026 AMC Javelin AMX concept, a machine that does not quietly ask for attention, it takes it by force.